The reinterpretation of defenses. Freud's identification of defense mechanisms was quite correct, as was his recognition of their creative ability. They can indeed produce your perception both of yourself and your surroundings. But Freud's limitations induced inevitably limits on his own perception. He made two kinds of errors. The first was that he saw only how the mechanisms worked in the mentally ill. The second was his own denial of the mechanism of the advantment. Let us take up the first, because a clear understanding of the second depends on it. Denial should be directed only to error, and projection should be limited to truth. You should truly give as you have truly received. The golden rule can work effectively only on this basis. Intellectualization is a poor word which stems from the brain-mind confusion. Right-mindedness is better. This device defends the right mind and gives it control over the body. Intellectualization implies a split, whereas right-mindedness involves healing. Withdrawal is properly employed in the service of withdrawing from the desert. It is not a device for escape, but for consolidation. There is only one mind. Dissociation is quite similar. You should split yourself off from error, but only in defense of integration. Detachment is essentially a weaker form of dissociation. This is one of the major areas of withholding that many engage in. Flight can be undertaken in whatever direction you choose, but note that the concept itself implies flight from something. Flight from error is perfectly appropriate. Distanciation is a way of putting distance between yourself and what you should fly from. Regression is a real effort to return to your own original state. In this sense, it is utilized to restore, not to go back to the less mature. Sublimation should be associated with the sublime. There are many other so-called dynamic concepts which are profound errors, due essentially to the misuse of defenses. Among them is the concept of different levels of aspiration, which results from real level confusion. However, the main point to be understood from these notes is that you can defend truth as well as error, and in fact much better. So far, we have concentrated on ends rather than means, because unless you regard an end as worthy achieving, you will not devote yourself to the means by which it can be achieved. Your question, how can I incorporate this material, enables me to shift the emphasis from end to means. It means you are accepting the end as valuable, thus signifying your willingness to use defenses to ensure it. The means are easier to clarify after the true worth of the goal itself is firmly established. Everyone defends his own treasure. You do not have to tell him to do this, because he will do so automatically. The real question still remains, what do you treasure, and how much do you treasure it? Once you learn to consider these 2 points, and bring them into all your actions as the true criteria for behavior, I will have little difficulty in clarifying the means. You have not learned to be consistent about this as yet. I have therefore concentrated on showing you that the means are available whenever you do ask. We can save a lot of time, however, if you do not need to extend this step unduly. The correct focus will shorten it immeasurably.